Well, a few hours later, I got it all cut in. I got all the baseboards all nicely painted everywhere, and I'm gonna let them dry. And you know, I didn't want to do the door casings right now, and I'm gonna do that next time because there's only so long I like to use a paintbrush until I want to clean it out, because it gets a lot of paint on there, and some of it starts drying on there, and then it stops working as good for me. And this is how I leave the paintbrush when I get done. I cleaned it all out, and then I take a paper towel, fold the paper towel in half, wrap it around there, and then bend it over like that, see? And let it dry, because there's nothing worse when you use a cut-in paintbrush to find out that you've got all kinds of little feeler pieces sticking out. And this will help it dry and keep it all together. But then even after that, you see this one here? If you see any little pieces sticking out, you can pull those back, and then I use my trusty carpet scissors. I just use these, and then I trim off before I get it into the paint. See, there's a couple stragglers. See those pieces off to the right up there. I'm gonna have to trim those off with my scissors. In fact, maybe I should do it right now. And I don't just trim them there. I pull this all the way down and cut them off. You don't want to just cut them right in there. Pull them back and then snip them off. And I found, believe it or not, that I like this brush better to cut in nice tight areas more so than my other one. I used to use that one for everything, and now it's getting kind of old and tired, but hey, it worked out pretty good for the baseboard. But then in some areas, in the tips of the baseboards, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna use the other one and cut it in nice and tight, and then go up the door frame. Isn't that something? Every time you want the phone to ring, start your video camera, and son of a gun, it seems to happen a lot. Okay, well, you know, so when I cut in the very end, I'm going to use my other nice cut-in brush, and I'm going to do that when I do the door frames and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I got a little plan, and I'm sticking to it. And you know what? Did I get any paint on the floor? No, I didn't get any paint on the floor. This is not paint, this is something else. I didn't get anything on the paint, and see, I just went down about a 1/4 inch from the bottom on most of it, and I've got it up against the wall, and it looks really sharp, doesn't it? Looks like a professional painter painted that baseboard, let me tell you. And it's gonna look the same when I get done with these door casings, and I'm gonna work on the door casings tomorrow, and I'll show you, I'll show you how to paint a door casing tomorrow. I don't know which one I'll do. Maybe I'll do, I don't know, this one's only half, because I only have to paint it to there. I don't have to paint the back, obviously. And this one's tight up against the wall. I might show you this one here, or the bathroom one. You know, is there a right and wrong way to paint a door frame? Well, I guess the answer to that would be yes. So you might want to watch that on one of the upcoming episodes. And we had a cat door here, and we're hoping that the cat that we have is going to use this for her potty box. Yes, we'll set that in here and stuff. And you know, the white trim that was around it, it looks like somebody might have framed that out of wood or something. I'm gonna go ahead and paint that. See this the tight edge in through here. I'm gonna use my good cut-in paintbrush. So when I was doing the baseboard, I just went to here, from here over. And then I'll do this carefully along the edge and underneath and all that kind of stuff when I have my other cut-in paintbrush to do the door frames, see? And so that's what I'm gonna do with that. So did I use much of the craft paper? No, not very much. I mean, I had a piece taped down here earlier, and so I just left it down. See, you could do something like that too if you were really super paranoid about spilling your paint and all that kind of stuff. You can put craft paper down along the baseboard and hold it out about an inch, and then put a piece of masking tape and then have that out. I would do something like that. Well, I wouldn't tape it down, but if I was painting these walls over this pre-finished floor, let's say, if I was doing that, I would take my craft paper and I would have a piece like that, but probably maybe 8 or 9 feet long, and then I would just lay it down here, and then I would work off of that. I would have my paint bucket over here, or my paint tray or whatever on top of the craft paper, and then I would be standing out beyond the 3-foot craft paper, rolling the walls. Boom, 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 boom. Well, that works out really good. I've done that many times. Okay? So, anywho, I'm wrapping it up for today, and I'll see you next time. Now, see, if I would have started painting these baseboards first thing this morning, had I started right there, and that's where I started this afternoon or lunchtime, whenever it was, and then I came around this way and I went ring around the rosy all the way around, got all the baseboards all the way through here, even in the bathroom, and then stopped over there. Or actually I did this little section the very first thing. So had I done that first thing this morning, now could I start cutting in the walls down to the baseboard? Well, yeah, because you know, I've only been off of this an hour and a half or so, and it's not wet, is it? Not at all. Look at that. See? So semi-gloss paint doesn't take that long to skin up over the top, enough to where now you could paint the walls and cut them into the baseboard if you wanted. You see? Now, had I been here first thing this morning, probably what I would have done was do the baseboards first, okay? Then after I got done with the baseboards and I cleaned out that one brush, then I would have got my better cut-in brush, and then I would have started the doors, the door frames, okay, and the casings and stuff. And I would start on this particular door because I started over there, right? And then I would paint all of the door casings in here. And I don't have that many door casings. There's a full one there on both sides. This one's a 3/4 one because I can't get to the back. That's a full one. This one I was just going to hit the edge of this because I'm going to paint this later. But I want to hit the edge of this door frame because my paint is going to come out onto the wall a little bit. So I'll do this edge and then just kind of blend it in to the face all the way around. Do you see what I mean? That way I can paint this later. And then when I paint it later, I would just paint from this edge right here. I wouldn't go all the way over because that little piece has already been painted and the wall will already have been cut in and all that. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would do that, and then I'll do the same thing to this door because this door frame later on I'm going to paint this, and I don't know exactly when I'm going to do that, but I'm gonna wait probably until the summer when it heats up, because then I can take the door off the hinges, take the hinges off, then I can paint the door frame. You know, half, this is the front, and so you see I would take this weather stripping out of here before I paint it, then paint up to there, let it dry all day before I close this back, leave the weather stripping off until the next day, and then I'll install a new weather stripping. And you know, you can get white and brown at the hardware store. Did you know that? Yeah, white and brown, because this door here, when I do this one, see, I say brown, it's kind of a dark chocolate brown, or maybe even slightly black. You know what? They might have three colors. They might have black, dark brown, like a chocolate brown, and that white. Okay, this door, this whole thing over here is going to be a separate project, and that's going to be a separate project. But I want to finish off painting my walls, right? So I'll paint the edge. I'll paint this edge. Boom, right there. Any paint that gets on here, I'll just taper it in with my paintbrush. Anything on here, then after this dries, then the wall will be cut in. So say, if I was here first thing in the morning, again, let's just review that. I would do the door, the baseboards first. Boom, 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 all the way around. And then if I had enough time after that, which I would do the door casings and the door jambs and all that kind of stuff, okay? And after that, then if I still had enough time for the day, then I could go back and cut in all of the walls. What I would do is I would start, and I would do the baseboards first, the wall, from the wall down to the baseboard. I wouldn't do around the door frames, because the door frames would still be wet, right? This would still be wet, so I would just do around the top edge of the baseboards on the walls, and then if there was enough time, then I would mosey on and do the stuff around the door casings. Okay, so see, everything, you do it all in sequence and you'll be fine. You don't have to be a professional, let me tell you. You don't have to be a professional painter to do this, and you could save yourself a lot of money, especially if you have time to do it yourself. Do you see what I mean? Okay, enough of that. I think I better get out of here for the day. Mommy's called me and she's ready for me to come home, and it's time to eat.